My name is Stephanie Nunn. I'm a wife, a mother, a nana, an artist, a designer in fashion, and I was born with a profound vision loss due to a degenerative eye disease. Due to being different, growing up, I had a lack of self-belief. School was not so great. I wanted to fit in. I didn't want anyone to see Stephanie, the little girl with the pop bottle glasses. I wanted to fit in, so I took them off. Could you imagine walking around legally blind just to fit in? My grades were failing. I needed those glasses back on my face and out of my pocket. So I put them back on because my ultimate goal was to graduate. Afterwards, I consulted with my doctor. Due to having monocular vision, which is seeing out of only one eye, I was approved for a contact lens. My confidence grew legs. My passion for art and fashion began to blossom. I started realizing that despite the circumstance, I can achieve my goals. I normalized my life, despite being told that due to the visual impairment, that I would not be able to achieve obtaining a college degree or even a career. I did it. I never thought that a little girl from an urban community, being born visually impaired, could win a designer's competition, could even win a trip to Paris, to even have individuals seek out my designs, to even have the opportunity to say that some of my best works are in the Cleveland Museum of Art. That little girl is me. You can achieve if you put in the work. Your diagnosis does not have to be your prognosis. As a member of the Executive Board of Prevent Blindness, we offer visual tools, encouragement, and support to prevent blindness. And as a proud member of Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated, I will continue to thrive in our mission: greater service, greater progress.
I don't know what Stephanie's name means in the book of names, but in my book of names, Stephanie's name means strength, resilience, and wisdom. I've been with Stephanie through a lot of good times, and I've been with her through those tough times. During the bad diagnosis and the tears, Stephanie never became a woe is me kind of lady, which would be understandable with the kind of eye disease that she has. In her strength, she will still take your hands. In her resilience, she continues to work on her art. And in her wisdom, she never lost faith that God would come through for her. I am Victoria L., only she can call me. I am a friend of Stephanie's.
To describe her would be perseverance, meaning that she does not quit. She does not show or let her vision hold her back. Through her vision, her wondrous works, it's all around, from her paintings to her fashions. Her vision is carried throughout. Her heart, her smile, she lets nothing set a limit on what she can do.
Stephanie Nunn, she's my shero. I have had an opportunity to witness her persevere despite being vision impaired. She has an amazing artistic ability, all created without the vision that we take for granted every day. I am blessed to call her my friend and Sigma Gamma Rho sister. True friendship is a gift from God, and through Stephanie's life, I have seen God's love.
I want to talk about someone who's near and dear to me, my cousin Stephanie Morris Nunn. Stephanie is an acclaimed fashion designer, and you wouldn't know that she was visually impaired if you saw the intricate details that she has in her fashions. Stephanie has perfected this craft. She's been doing this a long, long time. She's an amazing lady. What she's done is she's taken a disadvantage, which is her visual impairment, and turn it into an advantage, because she's able to use her other senses and just make wonderful clothes and just be the wonderful mother, wife, cousin, grandmother, and everything she could be. Stephanie is actually an inspiration, not just to the visually impaired, but to all of us. Stephanie Morris Nunn is a treasure, and I'm so proud to be her cousin. Thank you.
I've known Stephanie now for over 20 years. What started out as a model-designer relationship, it has turned into pure family. One thing I've always admired about Stephanie, especially once I found out that she had an eye condition, I just really had a great deal of admiration for her, because even though she was born with the degenerative eye disease, she has never allowed that to define her. She never wanted pity or sympathy. Stephanie was one who worked hard and she persevered, never allowing herself to be labeled as disabled with disabilities. Instead, she has highlighted her capabilities. I am proud and honored to have had the opportunity to model for her. Even times when I've come just to sit in the audience and she's deboed me, pulled me out the audience on stage to model for her. I cannot say no to her. It has been an honor to be a face and a signature model of your line, to be able to be the commentator and host of your events and your shows, to be your muse per se. You know, if you know Stephanie, then you have been a recipient of her kindness and her humanitarian nature, how she gives so much of herself away. She is blessed, but she's also a blessing, and she pays it forward. I mean, she's given machines and everything to up-and-coming designers just to be a conduit to help them perfect their craft. So those are just a few of the things I can name that has made her a pillar and a staple in her community. I am so proud of how she has overcome any restrictions that have been put on her life. Blindness has been spoken over her life all her life, but again, she has overcome. Stephanie is truly the example of a but God moment. No matter what the doctors say, but God. And I pray that He continues to keep your vision far more beyond what your eyes see. You are so creative and artistic, and I've always told you I think you are one of the most talented designers I've ever had the opportunity to model for. I love you, Stephanie, second to none.
I've always admired my mother due to her talents. I remember as a kid, I was very into drawing, and I used to try to draw my own comic books and have a whole storyline. And I was influenced because I would see how she was drawing and how she was painting, and I wanted to have that skill as well. I got to a point though, I'm like, I'm not as good as her. So I got into other creative expressions in regards to like poetry. And then I didn't even realize she was good at that as well. So she is very talented in so many different ways that I don't even think the world even realizes it. She's mostly known by the world for her clothing, but I've always admired her as her son, as seeing her in all different forms of her creativity, and the fact that she, to this day, is getting even better. So that's always a big inspiration for me.
Stephanie Nunn, strong, talented, extraordinary, picturesque, honorable, accomplished, nurturing, intuitive, and endearing. Many people know her as the talented artist that she is, but I have been blessed to know her as my mother-in-law and a wonderful, loving Nana to my children. Not only does she share her many gifts and talents with the world, but she instills that very same creativity into her grandchildren. Whether they are watching her sew or crochet around the house, making delicious chocolate candies around the holiday, or a simple game of family Uno, She prioritizes spending time with her grandchildren, and for that we love her and we value her. She is truly a gift to us all.
Stephanie Nunn is my sister, and it's such a blessing to have a sister like her. Growing up, I never saw her as a visually impaired person. I thought she had great vision. I saw her as smart and talented. She was a high achiever. She was very articulate. She was in the school band and she sang in the church choir. I like to tease her by saying, "You have such a pretty voice," because I can't sing. She's just an amazing person. I remember growing up as a kid wanting to dance. So she choreographed a piece for my audition to the Cleveland School of Arts, and guess what? I got in. During prom time, she wanted it to be special for me. She flew all the way in from Atlanta just to ensure I was beautiful. On my wedding day, she prayed and primped all over me. That's my sister. They don't come a dime a dozen, not like Stephanie. I remember going on a much needed vacation, and I said, "Wow, who's going to watch my untrained puppy?" She was right there. Taking good care of my puppy. She's affectionately known by my daughters as Auntie Queen. When they were mere toddlers, she taught them how to pose and walk like models. When we lost our mom, I said, "Gee, what am I going to do?" And she said, "Kathy, I'm here for you." She made that time in my life a lot easier. She's my best friend. She's my confidant. She's my big sister. What a blessing.
Yes, I'm Michael Nunn, Stephanie Nunn's husband. I have such admiration for Stephanie. Once we met, she told me she was visually impaired, but upon first sight, you would not have known that she was visually impaired. I knew she was a designer and she was a creative person. Once I found out the severity of it, I admired it even more because the hard work it took for her to do the thing that she does. She told me one of her goals was to get her a college degree. She took it a step further, got a master's. Stephanie is such a hard worker and loved by many, friends, family, sons, and especially me. We love you, Stephanie, and you are inspiration to not only us, but all the people that you come in contact with, especially being on the board of Prevent Blindness. Those people that Prevent Blindness can see the things that you do, and it inspires them to do what they didn't think they were capable of doing. Keep doing what you do, Stephanie, and you always will be loved and appreciated by many. Your husband, much love.
Stephanie Nunn. Coincidence? That's my mother. Some things I would like to talk about as it relates to my mom. A few words: resilient, creative, giving, understanding, objective, aggressive, all positive things. But one thing that I think that is most important out of all these characteristics is she's always been herself. And that is something that I think a lot of us admire about her. That's one of the things that I admire the most about Mrs. Nunn, my mom, is she's always been herself, no matter what she's up against, no matter what people say she can and cannot do. She's always been herself. And the fact that she's been herself
is the reason why she's been able to accomplish so many things through adversity. And I think that when she leads by that example, people see that and they're inspired. I'm inspired. So I say this to give encouragement, awareness, and a little props. So I support you, love you, and I'm just excited to see all the new things that you're doing and all the things that you're creating, and I'm just excited to see more.